Welcome to A Minute with Marcus. This is Leadership Videocast, and we're talking today about one of my second most favorite subjects in leadership. You've heard in one of the others that taking risk is definitely my favorite, but the second one is very close, and it is leaders solve problems. If you're going to be a leader, if you're going to grow in your leadership, you can't avoid problems. You have to solve problems. Leaders tackle problems. But think about it from this perspective. There are three types of people in the world. Three. Did you hear me? Three types of people in the world when it comes to problem solving. Check this out. People who solve problems, people who start problems, and people who avoid problems. Where do you fall? Do you solve problems? Do you start problems? Or do you avoid problems? Now, from a financial standpoint, your money is tied to the quality of problem you solve for people who are willing to pay for it and able to pay for it. But that's another conversation. But let's be more specific. If you're going to grow in your leadership, if you're going to grow in leadership outcome and grow in leadership influence, you're going to have to be known as a problem solver. Think about someone who you consider a leader, maybe a CEO, a manager, your boss. Think about a pastor, politician, etc. Whoever you say is a leader. Do they avoid problems? Do they start problems? Or do they solve problems? Leaders solve problems. We can't lead if we avoid problems. And we're leading wrong and we're not leading good if we're starting problems. Now, I do understand sometimes you have to start problems to solve problems, but I think you get the point I'm trying to make. Adolf Hitler started a whole lot of problems, and it took the Allied forces to what? Solve those problems. John Maxwell said all problems have hidden opportunities. That means it's not about whether the glass is half full or half empty. It's about how you see the glass. It's like what Henry Ford said. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're telling yourself the truth. So how you see the problem determines how you respond to the problem and ultimately determines how you grow in leadership. So understand, if you're going to grow in leadership, you're going to have to be the kind of person that embraces solving problems. And our next lesson, I think, will be some insight into that. But just get it in your mind now. If I'm going to grow in leadership in my organization, in my family, in my community, I have to be willing to tackle problems and aggressively work to solve them.